Hello, my name is Steve Gerhardt, and this is the Unagi Observer. As it is the end of the year, I will end this season with a quick recap before going on to describe quickly how the Unagi Observer will change for the next season. So let's go ahead and get into it. I only got to see one actual new anime this year, and that would have been the Ghost in the Shell's new reboot called Arise and its newest installment. It is a fresh new look on one of the most iconic and solid anime franchises out there. I was really happy with the reboot, and I feel that it has a future if only they can push out the episodes a little bit faster. And speaking of Ghost in the Shell, I am waiting with nervous anticipation. The Admiral, which is a historical Korean movie, is based on a real naval battle where a handful of Korean warships defeat a Japanese navy made up of hundreds of battleships. This was probably the best live-action Asian movie I'd seen this year, although I did seem to go through a Beat Takeshi phase there for a little bit. And this was Otakon's last year in Baltimore. I know some people like to blame the city for it, maybe the riots, whatever, but the reality is that the move has actually been planned quite a few years ago. Quite simply, they knew that Otakon was going to outgrow the Baltimore Convention Center, and it did. But it will now be moving to a much larger location in Washington, D.C., and we'll see how well it works out there. I'm kind of excited about it. Although, for me, it is a sad thing because I only live 10 blocks away from the Baltimore Convention Center. Now I'm going to have to get a room and travel to D.C. Okay, so that was this year in a nutshell. While I did review other things and such, I just wanted to focus on a few new things that interested me this year. So now let's look to the future of the Unagi Observer. Okay, so for the future of the Unagi Observer, as I've said before, this thing is under constant evolution. I don't get paid for it, I don't make any money off of it. This is purely a labor of love for me. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about a few things, and then we're going to wrap this year up. First couple things I want to talk about is I want to try the AMV contest again. It didn't really work out this time around. I think it's just because we didn't have a good format to put everything together. So we're going to change that, and we're going to try it again. When the next season starts up, I'm going to talk about the AMV contest, new rules, how to get things done. We're going to give you some more time to get it done, and hopefully you guys will participate, and we will give out prizes. Yes, you get actual prizes. Okay, the second thing is I alluded to making the Unagi Observer a nonprofit, and the reason for that was to help create a new anime convention here in Baltimore. Not necessarily to compete with Otakon, but just to kind of fill a void, so to speak. But I'm going to need your help for that, so periodically I'm going to talk about that over the next season. It's going to take a little bit of time to create and build, and like I said, I'm going to need your help on that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that also at the beginning of next season, which is going to be around February. Since the Unagi Observer is an ever-evolving thing, my little labor of love, I'm going to change it yet again, but it's based entirely upon your views of this current season. So next season is entirely based on what you guys watched this season. So I'm taking the top 3 categories that you guys seem to like, and that's what I'm going to focus on for next season starting in February. Okay, the first category that had the most views, of course, were anime reviews. I did a couple new anime reviews for Last Exile and the Ghost in the Shell Arise, but you guys also seemed to respond to the retro anime, where I did anime in the 70s. This time around, I'm probably going to do anime in the 80s. Regardless, it is definitely going to be another retro anime review because you guys seem to like it. Okay, the second most viewed category is going to be live action Asian movies. You guys surprised me with this one, but pleasantly so. And so there's going to be a lot more reviews of Asian movies. We're going to run the gamut here. It doesn't matter if it's Korean, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, Malaysian, doesn't matter. Whatever we get our hands on, that's what we're going to review. You guys seem to enjoy that, and respond to it. So that's the second most viewed category that we're going to concentrate on next season. Now the third category is going to be, as you know, I do a lot of culture stuff with Japan here on this channel. Well, it seems that while you guys responded to it, there were a couple subcategories that you really responded to, and that had to do with food, Asian food, and history, Asian history. So we're going to focus on food and history. So while I'm going to primarily work within those three categories, there will be periodically, like maybe a music review thrown in here, maybe a restaurant review thrown in every now and again. But those are the three main categories based on what you guys want. So this is all you. So that's what we're going to do starting in February of next year. Now, we're going to close up the season here because we're about at New Year's. It is the last week here in December, so I hope you guys have a great, happy New Year. Tell you what's going to happen in the month of January. There's going to be a mini-series devoted to a tutorial on sushi. And but keep checking back every week because there also might be some other little tidbit videos that I might throw up. So just keep checking back. And like I said, in February, I believe probably the second week in February, the next season of the Unagi Observer will start. Okay, my name is Steve Gearhart. This is the Unagi Observer. As always, thank you so much for watching this. And again, have a happy holiday, and I'll see you guys next time.